Ramadan is coming, and if you have never experienced it before, if you have never sat at a table at sunset after a full day without food or water, surrounded by the people you love, waiting for that one moment when you can finally eat, then you are in for one of the most beautiful descriptions you will hear today.
And if you have experienced it, if Ramadan is already part of your life, part of your family, part of who you are, then maybe today's conversation will feel like coming home a little early.
Welcome to TalkFluent, the podcast where we learn real English through real conversations. I am Nora.
And I am Kamal. And today, the two of us are going to talk about something very close to our hearts: how we prepare for Ramadan. Not just the practical side, the food, the schedule, the early mornings, but the emotional side too. The feeling of getting ready for something that is much bigger than a month.
We are going to have a real conversation between the two of us, the way we always do. And as you listen, pay attention to the English, the expressions we use, the way we describe feelings, the way we disagree sometimes and agree most of the time. That is all real language you can use.
So make yourself a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let us talk about Ramadan.
Nora, let me ask you something. When does Ramadan start for you? I mean, emotionally, not on the calendar. Because for me, it starts way before the actual first day.
Oh, that is such a good question. For me, it starts the moment Shaban begins. That is the month just before Ramadan in the Islamic calendar. Something shifts in the air. I cannot explain it exactly. It's like when you can smell rain before it arrives. You cannot see it yet, but something in the atmosphere has already changed.
Yes, that is exactly it. It's like the whole world starts leaning forward slightly, getting ready. I start feeling it when I hear the first Ramadan nasheeds, the songs playing in shops or on the radio, and suddenly I feel this mix of excitement and something almost like nervousness.
Nervousness is the right word, because Ramadan is not just a holiday. It's not just a break from routine. It's a commitment. And every year before it arrives, I find myself asking, am I ready for this? Am I the person I want to be walking into this month?
That is so honest. And I think a lot of people feel that, but do not say it out loud. There's this pressure sometimes, this feeling that you should arrive at Ramadan already perfect, already calm, already focused, already spiritual. And the truth is, nobody arrives perfect. You prepare, and then Ramadan itself does the rest.
Exactly. The month meets you where you are. That's one of the things I love most about it.
So let's talk about the actual preparation because there's so much to do, right? And I think people who have never experienced Ramadan might be surprised by how much goes into getting ready.
There really is, and it starts differently for everyone. For me, the first thing I do, and I do this every single year, is I sit down and I write. I write about the Ramadan I just had, what worked, what was difficult, and what I want to do differently this time.
Oh, I love that. It's like a personal review, an honest conversation with yourself about where you are on your journey.
Exactly. And then I write my intentions for the new Ramadan. Not a long list of impossible goals, just 2 or 3 things I genuinely want to focus on. Maybe it's reading more Quran. Maybe it's being more patient.
Maybe it's simply being more present during iftar instead of rushing through the meal.
I do something similar, but for me, the preparation is also very much physical. I start slowly adjusting my sleep schedule about 2 weeks before because the shift is significant. Suddenly, you're waking up before dawn for sahur, the pre dawn meal, and staying up later, and your whole body has to adapt. If you wait until the first day of Ramadan to start adjusting, it's very hard.
That is such practical advice. And the same with food. I start reducing coffee slowly before Ramadan because if you're used to 2 or 3 cups a day and then suddenly you stop completely on the first day of fasting, the headaches are not pleasant.
They are really not. I learned that the hard way in my first year. I had the worst headache for 3 days because I just stopped coffee completely with no preparation at all. Never again.
So we can say gradually reduce caffeine before Ramadan begins. Your head will thank you.
Let's talk about the home because I think preparing the home for Ramadan is something really beautiful and something that English learners might not know much about if they haven't grown up with it.
The home completely transforms, at least in our families it does. My mother starts deep cleaning the house about 10 days before. Every corner, every shelf. It's not just cleaning, it's making space, physically and symbolically.
In my family, too. And then comes the decorating. The lanterns, we call them fanus, go up in the windows and on the balcony, the crescent moon and star decorations. In some countries, they string lights all the way down the street. Walking outside at night during Ramadan looks completely different to any other time of year.
And the kitchen changes completely. My mother starts stocking up on ingredients she only uses during Ramadan, special spices, dried fruits for the drinks, tamarind, hibiscus, apricot. The smell of the kitchen in the days before Ramadan starts is something I couldn't describe in any language.
It's one of those smells that immediately takes you back to being a child, to sitting in the kitchen watching your mother or grandmother cook something you only got to eat once a year. That's the power of food, is it not? It carries memory in a way nothing else quite does.
Beautifully said. And speaking of food, the planning of the iftar menus. In our house, this was a whole event. My mother would sit down with a notebook and plan the meals for the entire month. What soups, what main dishes, what sweets.
The sweets. Ramadan sweets are a whole world of their own. Katayev, kanafa, basbousa, Ali. Every family has their specialties and their non-negotiables, the dishes that must appear every Ramadan without exception. If they're missing, something feels wrong.
Absolutely non negotiable. If my mother didn't make her lentil soup for the first iftar, I think we would all be in shock.
I want to talk about something a little deeper now because we've talked about the practical preparation, the sleep, the food, the home, but there's also the spiritual preparation. And I think that's actually the most important part.
100%. Everything else, the food, the decorations, the schedule, all of that is in service of something bigger. And for me, the spiritual preparation starts with what I call clearing the air. Before Ramadan, I try to reach out to people I may have had a difficult moment with, to apologize if I need to forgive if I need to start the month with a clean heart.
That is so important. There is something in our tradition about not entering Ramadan with unresolved conflict in your heart. And I think even people who do not observe Ramadan can appreciate that idea. The concept of intentionally clearing negative energy before something important begins.
It is universal, really. And then there is the preparation of the mind. For me, this means starting to read Quran, books about Ramadan, reflections, getting my mind out of the noise of everyday life and into a slower, more contemplative space.
I start listening to more Quran recitation in the days before, even if I am doing something ordinary, cooking, walking. I have it playing in the background, and slowly the pace of my inner life starts to change. It becomes quieter, more intentional.
And I think that intention, the Arabic word is niyyah, is at the heart of everything in Ramadan. Why are you fasting? What are you hoping for this month? What kind of person do you want to be on the other side of it? If you have not asked yourself those questions before Ramadan begins, the month can slip through your fingers before you realize what it was offering you.
That is such a beautiful way to put it. The month can slip through your fingers. And 30 days sounds like a lot until you are on day 20 and wondering where the time went. Before we finish, I want to ask you one last thing, Kamal. What is the one piece of advice you would give to someone preparing for Ramadan for the very first time?
Just one? That is hard. But if I had to choose just one thing, I would say do not wait to feel ready, because you never feel completely ready. Ramadan does not ask you to arrive perfect. It asks you to arrive willing to try, willing to be honest with yourself, willing to change. Show up with that, and the month does the rest.
That is genuinely one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard said about Ramadan. Do not wait to feel ready. Just be willing.
And you, what would you say?
I would say protect your mornings. The hour after suhoor, before the day gets loud, that hour is a gift. Sit with it. Read. Reflect. Pray. Do not immediately open your phone or turn on the TV. That quiet morning hour in Ramadan is unlike any other time of the year. Once you discover it, you'll spend the whole year trying to get it back.
We should have said this at the beginning. Now everyone is going to be rushing to Ramadan just for the quiet mornings.
Honestly, that would not be the worst reason.
To everyone listening, whether you're observing Ramadan this year or you're learning about it for the first time through this conversation, Ramadan Mubarak, a blessed month to you and to everyone you love.
And thank you for spending these 16 minutes with us and with the English language. This is TalkFluent, where every conversation is a chance to grow in language and in life.
If today's episode helped your English, share it with someone who is also on their learning journey, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
I'm Nora, he's Kamal, and we'll see you in the next one.